Thank you, Presiding Officer. I'm pleased to speak in this debate and actually echo Paula Kane's comments regarding Kitty. Actually, I've known Kitty for quite some time, so she actually came to high school to do a crash course in accounts way back when the Port High and St Stephen's actually had the first joint class many moons ago. I'm particularly pleased to speak in this debate because one of the things that people might not always fully appreciate is the issue regarding peacekeeping missions and also assisting where there are public emergency situations such as during the recent pandemic. The role of anyone in the armed forces is varied, and that's maybe a point that genuinely isn't fully always acknowledged outside of Parliament. My Greenock and Inverclyde constituency traditionally was a recruiting area for the Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders, and I'd like to mention just one Argyll veteran, Jim Boyland, also from Port Glasgow. As ambassadors for the Army go, Jim is very much up there. Since his retirement from the Army many years ago, he went on to help many hundreds of young people in the community to help them achieve more out of their lives. Jim has enhanced the lives of anyone that he has met, and his own personality, but also his sense of discipline and belonging from the Army will have helped him foster that skill even more so. He is a credit to himself, the Argyll Association and also to our community. I welcome the support provided to our armed forces personnel, including the rollout of the Scottish Government Veterans Strategy Action Plan, but recognise that there will always be more to do. The Scottish Government will continue to target projects that provide new and innovative approaches to aiding our veterans community. This is where I would hope that dialogue on defence and military commitments between both governments increases so that Scotland can continue to support the sector amidst UK Government funding decisions. The management and deployment of the armed forces is, after all, a reserve matter, but many of the challenges facing veterans are devolved. Improved engagement can only provide better outcomes and solutions for veterans, and that surely is what everyone in this chamber wants, irrespective of political persuasion. When our service personnel return from combat zones and years of service and retire from their roles in the armed forces, they shouldn't then be expected to wage a battle against bureaucracy to obtain support that they are rightfully entitled to. Engagement is therefore vital as the UK Government outlines how defence capability will be achieved with cuts to personnel numbers and against a backdrop of funding concerns from the UK Parliament on how programmes critical to UK defence are being delivered. That call for greater dialogue also extends to Scotland's domestic defence industry, which is vital for Scottish jobs. When the MOD's £24 billion budget for the next 4 years was published by the UK Government, there were no discussions with the Scottish Government on how these decisions might impact Scotland. But some would argue that's a reserved matter, so discussions needn't really take place. But, however, the impact of any decisions clearly will have long-term effects, whatever they may be, on some. Therefore, that aspect of form of dialogue and discussion certainly would be helpful. Finally, this Sunday, I will pay my respects in my constituency, firstly at Well Park, and then the Free French Memorial, both in Greenock. Both locations and others in the constituency saw growing numbers of members of the public actually pay their respects prior to the pandemic. Now, I hope, and I'm actually quite sure that come Sunday, the numbers of individuals attending these two locations, but also the other locations in my Greenock and Inverclyde constituency, will once again be on the up, because people genuinely want to pay their respects to those who have fallen and those who have served our communities. Thank you.